So, you want to be a member of the highest branch in the Imperium? To have ultimate authority over thousands of worlds? To be able, with the push of a button, destroy an entire planet just because you don't like the way things look? Well, I'm going to tell you how it is you specifically could join the Inquisition. Now, I'm going to be kind of not so visual with this video because to get real good pictures of civilian life in Warhammer 40k is damn near impossible, because really the game's all about war, hence the name, hey, Warhammer, who knew? But besides that, we are going to talk about many ways that you could end up joining the Inquisition. You guys ready? Because I sure am excited. So when it comes to Warhammer 40k, you are born into it. Sucks to be you, because you are amongst the untold trillions of humans across the stars. Now, there are people whose abilities and knowledge makes them shine brightly, even if they are in the deepest depths of a crowded hive city. These people usually become Inquisitors. Now, to be an Inquisitor, it usually is customary to have been a previous Inquisitor's agent at some point in time, sometimes unbeknownst to both parties. There are some scenarios where a person, whether that be a guardsman, Adeptus or Ritus, whoever they are unknowingly fighting alongside an Inquisitor, and then they both meet and they realize, oh wow, we've been helping each other this whole time. That's kind of what I mean by unbeknownst to both parties. There are other scenarios as well that can prompt to joining the highest branch of the Imperial authority, but usually there's a common theme amongst all Inquisitors. So what is that common theme? Well, first, the person has to be smart. No Inquisitor gets to their position due to their amazing combat skills. The majority of them, at least, have an above average intelligence. I say this because some books, it would seem that some of the Inquisitors are truly just amazing combatants who are full of zeal and religion, and they are not really smart, but they are above average of intelligence, which, hey, that's really all you need. Secondly, to be an Inquisitor, as we just talked about, you need to prove that you're loyal, that you are very religious to some extent. This is more or less how many of the branches of the Inquisition are filled with Adeptus Sororitas, because those fiery maidens are basically battle nuns for the God Emperor. There is nothing that makes an Inquisitor agent better than when they are purging the non-believers. Some scenarios I shall discuss will both be a sign of zeal, but it also depends on more or less the Inquisitor in charge of your case. They may decide that you're too exposed to a specific problem to further be used, kind of like the Tau or the Chaos. So again, being zealous can help you, but sometimes an Inquisitor doesn't quite buy your zeal, and they may think that you're not quite religious enough to have resisted the problem that you have encountered. This is again a bit of a problem. Thirdly, to be an Inquisitor, you have to be cunning. Now, I oftentimes tell people that how spy networks in Warhammer 40k is always kind of a coin toss. It could either be a retired Custodes who has a spy network, or it's an actual Inquisitor who has this spy network. If you want to be in the Inquisition, you're going to want to use your cunning and guile to navigate and manipulate people, and understand that there's always someone behind the scenes, and that could lead you into coming across an Inquisitor. But of course, that comes with a problem, which is, how do you find a spy network? We're going to get to that. Finally, and most importantly, to be an Inquisitor, you must be able to perform acts a little too humane for any sane person to conduct. So inhuman, it makes Black Templars recoil in shock. So, back to that question. How do you work for a spy network? Or at least, how do you find one? Well, in 40k, there's much going on. In fact, every world has its own load of cultists, mutants, aliens, and the occasional coup d'etat. So as an ordinary man or woman, you could fall in from a number of ways. And don't worry, I'm going to talk about them. So firstly, scenario 1. You are a loader. A simple collar worker who operates and lifts massive deadly cargo into ships at the spaceport every day. And despite the money being decent, you really have no excitement, no skill, no expertise to set you apart from the rest of your coworkers. That is until one day, after your shift, you head home to the bar that you and your other dock workers congregate at, and you spot someone who's a bit odd. Someone who really doesn't quite fit the picture. Normally, there are always odd fellows wherever you go, but this time, something's bothering you. You just can't help it but investigate. Asking your friends and workers if anyone knows who this man in robes is, you come to an unsatisfied answer. So you tail him. You follow and follow, showing keen skill in remaining unseen and listening in. You know now, this man is, ta-da, a gene stealer, a foul alien who can convert people into his species just with a touch. So you go to report it to the nearest authorities, but you stop in your tracks. You don't know anything about these gene stealers. You don't even know what they're capable of. All you know is that they exist. So, you dive into investigation. You find out what they're planning. You find out that they plan to poison the alcohol of all the bars that you go to, so that way more people are turned into these foul alien scum. Armed with this knowledge, you go to tell your coworkers. But what would you say to them? They might be in cahoots with the aliens without even knowing. So you devise a plan, one that pulls at your heartstrings. You go destroy the bar, depriving the gene stealers of their bounty. But then you arm yourself with whatever weaponry you can find and kill your own coworkers first, to ensure that if they truly were infected, that the problem is now gone. With this weaponry in mind, it could be a gun, it could be a knife, whatever. You decide to take the fight into your own hands and crush the gene stealers, because you don't know how much of the authorities is exposed either. Using the name of the Emperor, you start blasting and crushing any gene stealer that you can find, armed with such zeal and such hatred for these creatures for destroying your life. You start a murder spree. Eventually, the authorities catch you and they arrest you for murder and destroying the bars. It is during this interrogation that you spill the beans to everything. You tell them of your journey. You tell them of this crazy discovery and this crazy path you've been on. You tell them about how only the Emperor himself could have protected you because a gene stealer is amazingly powerful. You're surprised you survived the first encounter with these things. All of a sudden, the interrogation stops. A man in robes or a woman comes walking in. You can see that they have power armor on. They are covered in litanies that are just plastered on their chest. The room is quiet. All of a sudden, your life is forever changed once more. They test your purity. They scan your brain for any hints of heresy. And based on your intuition and skill, he employs you into his service. Congratulations. You can work your way up now through study and doing what needs to be done for this Inquisitor. And you could become an Inquisitor yourself. Or the Inquisitor may have, upon his own testings and findings, concluded that while you succeeded, you may be infected. There's a risk that you're perchance contaminant, so he just kills you as well. Or the Inquisitor says this is great, but because he can see that you're forever haunted by killing your own friends and coworkers, he mind scrubs you. Now you no longer remember anything that's happened. But congratulations. You may become an Inquisitor soon enough. Now, in Warhammer 40k, there are many other positions out there that you could have been born into. One of them, the most popular, is the Guardsman. Vast swaths of the populace are always forced into the ever-ongoing machines of war. Well, you might prove yourself in a number of ways. But one way that is most important is proving that you are resilient to influence. Let's say you fight chaos. You not only kill a word bearer, which is near impossible to do as a regular human, but you managed it. With faith at your side, you kill a few demons of the foul warp and you remain sound of mind. From here, an Inquisitor finds you. He sees that you're a sole survivor and you reported back to duty. Not only that, but you seem to pass all the loyalty tests. So the Inquisitor takes you in. From here, things could get really dark really quickly. This is why I say guardsmen get a really, really bad rap. You see, the Inquisitor could look at your data records and go, oh, your fighting force wasn't authorized to fight chaos. So since you've been exposed to that, despite winning the day and preventing chaos from taking over the world, I have to execute you because you're now a data breach, because we can't let you know what chaos is. That's one way the Inquisitor could do it. Or the other way is the Inquisitor sees something odd within you. You're resilient. You don't seem to be swayed by the warp. You're truly a devout follower of the God Emperor. You truly don't see anything wrong with you killing your own allies because they were becoming mutated chaos hosts, and because you saw them losing their sanity, you gave them the Emperor's peace. The Inquisitor may rub his chin and go, maybe we're going to have to scrub some of those memories away, but you would make a fine stormtrooper in my personal army. Congratulations. You now have become a soldier in this Inquisitor's army, and you may actually rise up to the rank of an Inquisitor. Congratulations. Now, we've talked about what happens if you're a worker versus what if you were a guardsman. What if you were something kind of unique? After all, everyone's got a bit of uniqueness to them, but what if you're in a weird situation? What if you were an entourage? What if you were a noble explorer out there, out in the vast empty fields of space? It could be part of the Mechanicus or part of the Rogue Traders. You never know. But you could be exploring a lost world, a world that humanity once owned in generations long past. But on that world, you discover an item that is heavily guarded by centuries of old technology. So, as you make your way through the defenses, you uncover a device so alien yet so powerful, you cannot truly understand it. So aboard your ship, you study it, breaking who knows how many laws and committing ungodly amounts of tech heresies. In studying, though, you realize this device absorbs the warp with every shot fired. You decide to plead to your higher-ups, whether that be other commanders or whether that be your Mechanicus overlords. Please use this weapon against the God Emperor's servants. Please. But instead they declare you a criminal, so you run away by the skin of your teeth. Using the weapon, you fan out into the galaxy and you find the Emperor's enemies until a few years later, you're discovered by men in armor. Men who rush into the field and easily blast apart all the foes who are about to kill you. There on your knees, a man walks in, clad in power armor, and he meets you. Turns out you guys are kindred spirits. He's an Inquisitor as well. He takes you in. And turns out he's just as radical as you. He believes in your research, he read your reports, and he's been tracking you since. He thinks you and him can do great work together. He inducts you into his service, knowing the intelligence that you have and the capability you have shown, and showing the fierce zeal that you've been doing by going all these years on your own whim, using this device against the aliens, the mutants, the heretics. You have now become an Inquisitor. Congratulations. Or the Inquisitor who finds you blasts you away too, because it turns out he's a bit of a fanatic. He doesn't believe that someone with your device should be allowed to live, and the device should be destroyed. It could go 50-50. So as you kind of may have noticed, all these scenarios are fascinating. These are truly amazing stories to dive into. But You've noticed something similar, have you not? Joining the Inquisition, your chances are slim. And then when you are founded by Inquisitor, these stories could end badly for you depending on what kind of Inquisitor is conducting the investigation. Doesn't matter what it is that they are. They could be pretty down the line in the middle. They could be a bit fanatical but a bit radical at the same time. But what really matters is the Inquisitor's own choice. As I said, they may not take the risk. And they may just say, I have too many spies already who show a lot of capability, so I really don't need another one. Let's just kill you and just get it over with. Or they may just mind scrub you so hard and turn you into a servitor. There's many, many, many ways that things can go bad when it comes to trying to join the Inquisition. So that's really the main goal of this video, was that joining the Inquisition would be tough, but really, do you want to risk it? If you made a, let's say, Warhammer 40k Dungeons and Dragons game, would you really want to risk your character dying because you want to be an Inquisitor so damn badly? It's pretty damn risky. And this is why many swaths of the Imperium are very scared of Inquisitors. Not because of their power, but because, God forbid, the Inquisitor takes notice of you. If an Inquisitor notices you, then it could go really badly really quickly. He may kill you and all your family just because he thinks that you're all heretics. He may think you're all troublemakers too. There's a lot of bad things that could happen. So, besides that has been Freedom 700. I am out. Peace. And, as always, subscribe if you haven't already. And comment down below what you guys think. You guys may say, what, Freedom 700, you're wrong. Anyone could be an Inquisitor as long as you're just, an amazing guy in combat. Go ahead. Be my guest. Comment that down below for me. Besides that, see you guys next time.